Hi friends and welcome. Today I want to show you how I swatched all my fountain pen inks in my Hobonichi weekly sections. I've been using this Hobonichi as a test for 2 months, so I had a lot of empty pages, so I'm trying to figure out a way to keep using it that makes sense to me. So this is what I came up with for the weekly sections. So as you can see, I have a bunch of samples of fountain pen inks, and I sort of like didn't have a good way to record all of them, to have a record of all of them, and sort of knowing what I have and how they look like. So I decided to swatch them all, and on each, if you familiar with the Hobonichi weeks, this is how it looks like when it's completely empty. So there's one vertical section per each day, and then on the side here there's sort of like a section for the week. So what I've been using is each section for one ink. So what I do is a little swatch here on top, and then I've been using two separate nibs, like two dip pens, different size nib. This is a 2.0. I don't know if you can see, it's like a stub nib, pretty large. And then this one is just a fountain pen, a glass pen, dip glass pen. You just dip it and you write with it, and it's a little thinner than the stub nib here. I hope you can see that. See, so I've been using these two pens, and so what I've been doing is writing here the name of the ink, the sort of the company, the name, and the ink name. And then I've been drawing like a little doodle of a sample vial. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not, but it's something like this. So if I have a bottle of the ink, I will doodle the bottle. I honestly have like maybe 3 or 4, so it's not a lot of bottles, but I have a bunch of this samples. So when you see like this doodle, it tells me that I have the sample and not the bottle. Pretty much that was the point of the doodle. And then I've been writing with a glass pen like a little the beginning of a song in Italian. It's just so I have the same writing sample on each ink, on each section, so that I can see how they look like, with sort of like to be like as consistent as possible. So what happened though while I started swatching is that like there was some bleeding or ghosting on the other page. So I sort of started skipping the page and then continuing with the swatching, and I wasn't really sure on how to use these parts. I was thinking of like just glue it together, so it would be just like every, without like skipping. But then I was like, there's space, this space can be used. And I was thinking that I wanted to write notes of the ink after I used it, sort of reminding myself if I like it or not and why. And so I started to write notes on the back of each section and give some sort of a rating on a scale from 1 to 5. So if I really like it, it's a 5. If not, a 4, 3, 2. Pretty self-explanatory. But so is this? I use this ink. I go to the previous page, and I write down my notes and on like which fountain pen I use it, which nib, because depending on the nib and on the pen, you can have different experience with the same ink. So I wanted to note it there so I remember, because I have no memory for anything and it's just easier. And I'll do a quick flip through of all the inks so you have an idea. But yeah, I've been loving it. The only thing is that when I started, I didn't leave any space. So say that I'll buy another sample of Faber-Castell ink. I cannot put it together. When I did the first swatch, I tried to put all the same company together. So like here I have all the Organic Studio, the Robert Oster, the Urban, like, and so on. noodlers, but if I buy new samples, I'm not going to be able to put it all together. But for me, it's fine. It's not a big deal. But if you want to keep like a record of all the same brand, or somebody does like all the same sort of colors, like all greens or reds, you can do that by like just leaving some extra pages, some space, empty space, so you can go back and fill it in. I don't know how practical it would be for me, so that's why I just decided to go for it, and then I'll figure it out. If it doesn't work, I'll look into something different. But these are all my little swatches. I really like this because it's pretty consistent, so it gives me like a good idea of how the inks work. And of course, you need to try that on with a fountain pen, you know, like playing with it a bunch to actually figure it out if you like it or not. But see, for example, here I didn't even know that I had 3 samples of the same ink, and there you go. So that's why here there's like two little doodle of the samples, because I have 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, it's a good way to sort of keep a record of what I have and avoid buying the same thing twice if I already have it. I love this color. I don't know if you can see the shine and shimmer going there, but it's really nice. These are all my Pilot Hiroshizuku inks, which is so lovely. I hope it shows on camera. I see like a little dollar, but they're very bright. Like this is super bright. My diamond, love those inks. The Ferry Wheel Press, these are very nice, but there's a lot of shimmer going on, and you want to keep an eye on that depending on the pen that you use. But they're very lovely colors. I really enjoy them. Sailor, same thing. Sailors, I love sailor colors, but a lot of times they're very light, so like hard to read. It depending on the pen, I have to say. It's always like depending on the fountain pen that you use. Certain are like the perfect match. And these are the last one that I got. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. It's a very quick video just to show you this setting. I've been enjoying it. I hope you can find some inspiration. Let me know if you have samples, ink samples, how you have a record of them, if you have a record of them, and how you use the weekly section of the Hobonichi cousin, if you have like some other alternative way to use them. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with me today, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye bye.